Close Range is a action film starring Scott Adkins, directed by Isaac Florentine. It's not a new film, but I just came across it on Amazon Prime the other day when I woke up early and didn't want to wake up my wife, so just put my headphones on and thought, well, I'd give that a watch. Like action films, like Scott Adkins, like Isaac Florentine, give it a go. It's a great, straightforward action film. The plot is that this guy has to go to Mexico to rescue his sister's daughter, who's been taken in by a sort of gang, and then when he gets her home, Scott Adkins has taken something off one of the leaders of the gang that he dealt with to get hold of the daughter, and they want it back. It's a little USB flash drive, and so they come to America and lay siege to his sister's property, and that's it. It's him then fighting them off for 82 minutes. Nice straightforward plot. It's fun, it's enjoyable. The action scenes are great as always with this pairing. Lots of sort of clear martial arts and action and gunfights and inventive choreography, and it makes you feel there's a bit where he gets thrown into a mantelpiece, and I'm guessing the mantelpiece was foam or something, because if not, he really did take a hit to the back from a board, and it looks terrible, as in painful. Definitely worth watching if you like Scott Adkins films. You're in and out, done. What I wanted to talk about though was, as I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, this film is relegated to sort of B-movie status. It's like a straight to DVD film, fine, but there's so many things in this that Hollywood films could learn from, and to some extent they are a little bit. The first one is that there's just a basic backstory. There's no sort of long, sort of half-hour prelude where you've got to see people dealing with emotions, talking to his sister, being told he's got to go to Mexico, all this kind of crap that if this were a bigger budget film, they just pack in there because they would feel that the writer had to express this and there wasn't enough emotional. No, all the backstory is dealt with in the action at the start. This film opens on him assaulting this gangland safe house, and I learn everything about him and the plot within minutes. He gets to the girl, beats up some guys, kills them all in a fun way, and then she just goes, "Uncle so-and-so," and he goes, "Yeah, your mum sent me to come and get you," and she goes, "Great, let's go." And that's it. I know it's the uncle, I know that the mum sent her to come and get him, and I know that they're getting out of there, and I know that they're all bad Mexican drugs dudes, because that's self-explanatory. And you've saved yourself 20 minutes of watching already, and you've got action going on, you've got the adrenaline boost of watching all that, and it's fun. The next thing is that it's short and tight. It's 82 minutes long. It knows it's not going to hang around. It knows people can only tolerate continual action for a certain period of time, which is the problem with Michael Bay films, where whilst they might have great budgets for action and that, at nearly 2 3/4 hours to 3 hours long, you do get sort of burnt out on the action, and it just tires you out. This hits you with what you got, so you're left with a short, sharp jab of action and adrenaline and plot, and you haven't wasted half your day watching it either, so you feel satisfied that you can digest it all sort of mentally. The other thing is that with the action scenes, nearly all of it is in camera, and I don't mean sort of, there's not a lot of special effects. There's like sort of electronic squibs or CGI squibs and gunshots of that. That's fine, everyone uses those now. But what I mean is that the way that Isaac Florentine shoots his action scenes, because the actors are all competent stuntmen and martial arts performers, he can hold the camera and just move it around the action scene while it's all going on, confident that these guys can make it look good from pretty much any angle. You don't need to do all lots of cutaways. Say if it was a Liam Neeson film, I know there's like a joke of in Taken 3, just him getting over a fence has got like X amount of cuts, like 10-20 cuts in it, just because he's old and he's got to climb this bloody fence. You don't need that. With this, you can have the fight scene happen naturally, and it just makes it more entertaining, more interesting, and you go, wow, they are actually doing that. If Tom Cruise did that, all of a sudden people would be like lauding it up on the media, going, wow, Tom Cruise has done this and he's been in this fight scene and he really did it, which is fine. It's good, good for him. He's an old guy now. But this is going on in lower budget films to a high quality, and I think it should just carry on over into mainstream films, really. And then the other thing is, just going back to the plot again, after you've had the initial setup, any of the plot development is done very quickly in between or during the action scenes. Not that this is plot-heavy film, mind you, but things such as who's got what, whether who's got this USB flash drive, where people are, what they're doing, what their motivations are. It's all dealt with very economically. And it's great as a film watcher because you take it in. You don't need everything to stop, have an exposition dump, and then move on. You can have these things happening naturally. In real life, people don't stop, give you a load of instructions, wait for you to digest it, then move on to something happening. Things just happen naturally, and people understand that things are happening, and it flows with the action. If more films did that, it would be great. And again, it would keep them shorter and more concise and more digestible, because you can actually take in more than one thing at once when it's happening on screen. I think that's my problem with a lot of the action films nowadays that you have. Not that they're not good, but there we are. And the other point I wanted to make was, I know that they just announced Robert Pattinson. I think pretty much he's going to be the new Batman. I think it's a real shame. I think someone like Scott Adkins could have been Batman and Bruce Wayne really well. I mean, he's got the physique for it. He wouldn't have to have a padded out bat suit. He's about the right age, sort of mid-30s. He can pull off various looks. He's got a good chin for the cowl. And you could have Batman realistically taking on 10 goons at once with proper martial arts skills. Everyone blew their mind when Batman did that warehouse takedown in Batman vs Superman. And everyone was like, wow, look at him, he's so violent. But that was all cutting away and moving around trying to hide. Obviously Ben Affleck is a professional actor. He's not a stuntman first. But you could have him actually using martial arts and taking out people, doing all these crazy flips. It could be like an Arkham City game. And the way DC films are going, you might find that they have 2 or 3 Batmans on the go, one after another, because they're obviously doing that with the Joker type characters, and they seem to be going down a sort of Elseworlds type what if way, where you can just have sort of lots of different people playing all these characters, which I prefer. You don't have to have one guy who's going to be installed as Batman and then be Batman for the next 10 years. You can have lots of different things, because people are intelligent now, they understand what's going on, and they don't really care. You just turn up, you see Batman, you don't really see who's behind the cowl so much. That's my 2 cents anyway. But anyway, Close Range, yeah, if you love action films, you like martial arts films, you want a short, sharp dose of action, give it a watch on Amazon Prime right now.